Most of your target accounts are currently ignoring your sales efforts. This is a logistical disconnect. The majority of your market is simply not in a buying cycle right now. Looking at the total addressable market reveals a consistent split in buyer readiness. At any given moment, 5% of buyers are in market, actively researching features with budget allocated today. The remaining 95% are out of market, dormant, focusing on internal operations rather than vendor specifications. Marketing strategies built on the assumption that everyone is ready to buy lead to a massive misallocation of resources. You end up pitching to an audience that has no immediate reason to listen. Despite this split, traditional B2B marketing engines are almost exclusively calibrated to chase that active 5%. This creates a congested environment where every vendor competes for the same leads at the bottom of the funnel. As this segment reaches saturation, customer acquisition costs rise. Sales teams encounter diminishing returns because the competition outweighs the opportunity. Sustaining revenue growth requires a strategy that moves beyond this saturated 5% and begins engaging the neglected majority. Capturing the 95% requires an understanding of long-term buyer psychology during the months they aren't looking at vendors. Enterprise software involves a multi-stakeholder buying committee navigating long-term internal planning. These decisions are built on trust and familiarity established over years. Most buyers form their internal shortlist months before they ever visit a vendor's pricing page or request a demo. During this phase, they are observing industry analysis, consuming thought leadership, and noting which brands demonstrate the most strategic authority. When an internal trigger finally pushes that account into the active 5%, they already have a preferred vendor in mind. If a brand only appears once the search is active, they are competing against an incumbent who has already spent months building credibility with the buying committee. Influence is built in the quiet periods, establishing your brand as the logical choice before the formal procurement process even begins. To maintain this influence, organizations use sustained memory generation. This method prioritizes the distribution of high-value, ungated insights over immediate lead capture forms. It focuses on being useful to the buyer while they are out of market. By consistently providing data-backed perspectives, you position your brand as a strategic partner rather than just another vendor. Over time, this prolonged exposure creates mental availability. When the buyer finally enters a purchasing cycle, your brand serves as the benchmark by which all other competitors are measured, significantly lowering the barrier to the final sale. To account for the 95%, we have to look at the structure of account-based marketing. ABM is a strategy that targets high-value accounts with personalized campaigns. Many organizations use ABM as a high-velocity lead generation tool, hoping to force an immediate response from the active 5%. A more precise application uses ABM to maintain continuous visibility across the entire multi-month buying journey, ensuring the brand stays relevant during the out-of-market phase. This graph illustrates the difference between capturing existing demand and building a future pipeline. One provides a temporary spike. The other creates an aggressively compounding upward curve in revenue. Implementing this requires a total integration of brand positioning, demand generation, and technology. You can continue to compete for a saturated 5%, or you can align your strategy with the mathematical reality of your market to engineer growth.